Senior showman, we're going to go ahead and begin, so get lined up. First call for intermediate showman.
Testing, testing. Woo-hoo! Power is a good thing. Good thing. Welcome everybody to the 2020 annual 4-H Sheep Show. And today our judge is Adam Wirth. He is from Lennox, South Dakota. He is the general manager at the Poet Ethanol Plant by Hudson, South Dakota. Raises about 150 clubland ewes, which usually have to multiply that by 2, hopefully, to get your land numbers. Has 30 South Downs and also has show pigs. He has been judging since he got out of high school and college, 2-3 years ago. We'll just do it that way. 2-3 years ago. And so let's give him a round of applause and welcome him to the Sioux County Fair. In the ring right now are our senior showmanship, and I think he looks like you're about ready to be done and hand out the prizes. Here you go.
Well, good morning, and thank you for having me today. And I'm glad your math is as good as mine. Just I got to add a 10x factor to that. So, fun way to start the day in showmanship, and these 3 kids are doing a really nice job. And I'll be up front. I hate judging showmanship because it's a deal where on that day and that animal and that time, and when I see it, and all these lists of things, right? You guys all work hard at home, and all I tell you is I think all 3 of you do a great job. And so wherever I line you up today, that's just my opinion today, but I think you each could be moved around depending on a small factor here or there, what I saw. With that said, the young lady on this end here to my right is going to be the young person that wins this division. I just like her approach to how she sets up sheep and gets that thing set up for me to view. We talked about she gets those rear legs set and then puts the rest of it into motion on the side profile. That's my preference. I just asked her to maybe think about the speed she does it and speed it up a little bit. So when that sheep gets braced and in the position it is, she does a phenomenal job of getting the angles of the feet, the neck, and other parts just right. And for me, that's what stuck out today. The young lady on the other end here will be in second. One that I really appreciate in terms of her speed of getting to her position and the view she gives me. We got to move. This is the person that got their sheep set up the quickest, got it on the brace. And when you're showing sheep, the best view is when that lands on the brace, and she does the best job of that. We just talked about feet and leg placement a little bit, and the angle of that neck just a shade. We need to get that up just ever so more slightly. But again, a great job. Those are finite little details that separate you guys. Young man that's going to round out the drive again. I think you do a great job. I look over right now, your feet are square, you got that head up, you're giving me the best profile that you can get. I mean, that's showmanship. How do you present the best view? Just every once in a while during the drive, your feet got a little bit out of alignment. But again, little things there. Let's give these kids a big round of applause for an awesome job and a great way to start our day.
In our senior showmanship, first place went to Ella Swart, second, Paige Fetters, and third, Brandon. If I kill the name, please come and tell me. Schuler. And if it's supposed to be Scheller, let me know. Entering the ring next will be our intermediate showman.
Attention on the fairgrounds. First call for the junior sheep showmanship. First call for the junior sheep showmanship. Our intermediate showmanship class is in the ring right now.
It's junior.
What a really good group here of the intermediate division to work through, and I always like to give some kids some feedback from what I see, and then it's always interesting to walk off and see if they start doing it. And a couple of these kids made a slight adjustment or two, and I think it just changes the way their presentation comes at me and increases their competitiveness in this go-round. Again, like the last division, I think each of you are extremely good, and again, don't take away from where I place you today, because I think you could come out in an hour again and maybe we can switch you guys up. That's how competitive it is. For me, the person that was the most consistent from the point they came in to right now is going to be the young lady in the second hole. Again, I just like the position of, she has that head up and square all the time. She's got those legs where they need to be. When we're braced, she's putting in the least amount of effort, just making it look natural out here in the ring. We just talked about on the move that we want to see her maybe not use that hand so much on the show side because it's distracting. But outside of that, I think she did a great job of doing the things that complement what I like to see. Young lady on the back end here, the far end is going to be your reserve. And I tell you what, I love her intensity. I love how she gets after it. She's got a smile on her face. She's got great eye contact. It's just her feet and leg placement from time to time is kind of what gets me. She got that front leg moved, and man, that sheep came to life in my opinion. Did a great job there. For third, I'm going to go with the young lady right here. One that I think, again, kind of follows our champion in terms of consistency. Her legs are always set up square. She's always got that lambent position. Just every once in a while, she tends to let off the drive a little bit, or her eye contact is the thing we talked about. I'd like to see that a little bit stronger. This young man here with the Dorset Mark II, I love his intensity too. Just every once in a while, we're getting out of position a little bit, or we crank a little hard on the head, but little things. So the young lady on the end is going to round out the drive. Again, a little more challenging sheep to work with here for its size relative to the young lady. But she does a great job getting that thing presented. Let's give all those kids a big round of applause for coming out.
In our intermediate sheep showmanship, first place went to Carly Seabrook, second, Elise Ford, and third, Kinley Hammerman. Entering the ring now will be our junior sheep showmanship.
Attention, sheep exhibitors. First call for commercial U whiteface. First call for commercial U whiteface. And first call call for Class 1 Commercial Use Blackface.
This is a fun age for me because I got a daughter that's right about the same range as these two, and showing big sheep or sheep that are starting to push your size limit challenges a lot, and you got to be really creative and got to put a lot of time in to get them to show right and work with you here. But the young lady in the back, her lamb fighter, as I say, it's going to be the young lady that leads out this drive. I think her presence in the ring, the way that she commands that sheep's attention, has been just phenomenal. There's little things we can work on, but again, that's a big sheep for that young lady to maneuver around here. But her fundamentals and basics are just spot on, and she's got a really bright future. So congratulations to her. Young lady in the front with the white face. Again, when we talked, I just like to see her get rid of that halter. I think the rest of what she's doing is really good. She's on that head. She's getting it braced. It's set up square. The lines are good. I just want to see you have that next bold step and get rid of that, walking around the ring like we can. But really nice job. Let's put our hands together for those kids here.
In our junior showmanship, first place went to Cora Fetters and second Georgia Vandenberg. We will now start with our first class of commercial use, our white face breed.
Got it? There you go. Attention on the fairground. First call, commercial use blackface, Class 2. First call, commercial use blackface, Class 2.
young man's single entry here is one that's kind of intriguing to me. I think there's some pieces that are really nice about this shoe. I love her square full top line. She works down her top, like her proportionality of length of body and how she fits into that rib cage. You know, I'll be honest, she's one I just like to soften the top line. She likes to put that loin edge up a little bit and just drop that rear flank. If we do that, I think she really comes together in a nice package. But there's a lot of unique pieces for this young man. Let's give him a big round of applause on a nice project.
In our white space commercial U class, first place went to Brody Van Riggenbarter. Entering the ring now will be our first class of commercial U black space.
Attention, sheep exhibitors, second call, class 2, commercial U blackface, second call, class 2, first call, class 3, commercial U blackface, first call, class 3, commercial U blackface.
Yeah, better. How many pie hairs?
Well, I really like this young lady's blackface shoe here, and one that would be fun to come back in 30 days, I think, and see. This one has a great foundation that we're working from. Just elegant from the front. I love that long extended neck and how she blends that into her shoulder. And you get off to the side, and what a great profile, and her lines are put together right. As I told the young ladies, this one needs a little more time on the feet bucket, I think, to really see what she can turn into and put a little more mass and condition on her. But what a really nice project for her. Let's go ahead and congratulate her on a project that's been well done.
Our first place winner in this class was Cora Fetters. Entering the ring now will be our second class of commercial U blackface lamb.
Commercial Use Blackface.
I think we have three really nice ewe lambs out here, but I think we have three ewe lambs that all present some unique challenges in how I see them and in their build. And, you know, as you go around, I could spend another 20 minutes sorting them and picking them apart. But the sheep I'm most comfortable with is the young lady on my left at the moment. We put that one into motion. That's the sheep that I think holds herself together in the most complete package in terms of having some upfrontedness and cleanliness of shoulder and neck. We put our hands on her. She's probably the firmest and freshest to the touch. And I think ultimately she's the one that has the least amount of fault. Now, she's the one I'd like to take in her chest floor and push up into her, drop her rear flank ever so slightly. But I think outside of that, that's the one that's most correct on speed and legs. It gets out, gives us the best side profile when we get out there. Young man due in second. If we could just stout that gal up in terms of her feet and leg structure and just let her stand with a little more height at the point of her shoulders, I think we can run this one all day long, because as we get into her body type, she's got an awesome rib cage and shape to her center body. She's got plenty of power and mass and width throughout. I just don't think she matches on the underside of her skeleton with the bone and mass there as she does in the upper part. The young man here in third has got some unique features to me. This one's a big-legged, stout one. It's a massive one in terms of shape, but she's the problem sheep for me. When I come up, I want to take and give that dock shape and just pull that thing apart and put her up there. We put her into motion, that neck wants to fall down into her shoulder. That's something I'd like to change. If we can just correct her and get that neck to sit right on top of that shoulder, we get her into motion in the drive, I can move this ewe up. Those are just fundamentals I'd like to see changed. But congratulations to three really nice ewes in that class.
In our second class of blackface ewe lambs, first place went to Kinley Kimmerman, second, and then Cooler, and receiving a blue was Brody Van Riggenborder. Entering the ring now will be our third class of blackface ewe lambs.
Again, another really nice set of ewes in all three of these. And again, I think we can take these top two and combine some pieces to get to one that I think fits the mold in my mind of what I would preferably like to have here. But as I study the young lady's ewe that leads this drive, there's no doubt this is the one that's the most cracked open in its skeleton, the boldest in its rib cage, and undoubtedly you get on top of this one has the most spread working throughout that skeleton. Now with that, I tell you, I'd like to extend her down that spine and just make her slightly longer in that back. I'd like to see her front end just come up a little higher and more extended elegance to her neck. But I guess when you get off of that, there's the one that packs a lot of power and a lot of productivity. And I think the sheep that we can work from the most to move forward in terms of market sheep, in my opinion. The young lady's ewe in second has a lot of pieces that intrigue me. From the side profile, I love her front half so much better than her class winner. She's taller than the point of her shoulders. She's got that extra extension to her neck. She's just smoother through that part of her body. It's when I come off of that to the back half, I'd like to change the thing. I'd like to drop that rear flank down. I'd like to give her a more robust shape as we come down through that dock and down through her lower leg shape there. I just think those are things that we like to make her to be. We're changing her to make her more competitive and just a little more out there and elite in terms of what we're doing. But she's so smooth on her hands, I love her top line shape. I just like to balance her by pulling that flank down and give her that more robust shape out through her hind end. When the young lady in third walked in, I was like, man, there's a really nice ewe, and you just hit a buzzsaw with another one. There's one's got an awesome shape to her rib cage. I love that curvature to her. Again, she's got some femininity to her. Every once in a while, she likes to get her top line up. I'd like to soften her top. And then when we get her in motion, I'd like to strengthen her back pasture. She tends to get a little soft and under her. She walks around the ring. But again, a really nice ewe to stand third. Let's give those young ladies a really nice round of applause for 3 excellent ones.
In our last class of commercial ewe blackface, first place Charlie Seabrook, second, Elise Ford, and receiving a blue was Paige Hutter. We will now be choosing the champion blackface breeding ewe and the reserve champion.
All these young people brought out some really nice ewes in this division here, so let's put our hands together and thank them for coming out, doing an awesome job with their projects this summer. We'll talk about it more stuff today, but you guys, we've all had a challenging year, so for you kids to stick it out and be able to get here and do what you guys enjoy with livestock, it's flat out awesome. Fun for me to come work with you and talk about what I see with your project. And I know you're not done with them yet, you got more to come, but here in this U division, I think there becomes one that surfaces for me, and then we got to evaluate a couple others to see where you want to go from there. But for your champion U, the young lady on the last drive will be your champion. One that we just talked about is so powerful, so robust in design. I think she's a logical place for us to go with today. For me, I'm going to use the young lady out of the class right in front of her for reserve. Again, I think one that when we get into motion and look at her silhouette design, suits me well. So congratulations to those two young ladies.
Our champion flag-based breeding ewe was exhibited by Carla French. Our reserve, Kingsley Timmerman. Entering the ring now is our speckle-faced commercial ewe.
Attention exhibitors, second call for commercial use southbound. Second call for commercial use southbound. First call for yearling ewe blackface. First call for yearling ewe blackface.
Well, this young lady brings a speckle out here that I just love the size profile and one that you could put on a background photo all day long. Love the upfrontedness and extension she has. Dead level as we study her down her spine and then as we study her down her flank. You know, there's one that could afford a little more shape as we come out through that hip to shock region and just to make that one explode as she walks away from you. But again, from the size profile, this one's built so good, you really got to appreciate her overall design. Let's give this young lady a big round of applause on a nice stuff with you.
Exhibiting our speckle face was Kinley Cameraman. Entering the ring now will be our South Down commercial ewe.
This young lady and I share the same passion for Southdowns. I love Southdowns sheep. I think they're fun to raise, play with, and they're fun projects for kids. But here's a brood of the Southdown in terms of stoutness of her bill. Big legged, big chested, big centered. She's got all that broody look you want to show you. You know, there's one that could afford a little more power and shape as we go down through that leg and stifle region, just to make her a little more balanced in her look. There's one that's got a lot of really good pieces working for her. Put our hands together and congratulate her on a nice shoe. Generally not one to take a lot of time, kind of know what you like and just kind of go with it. So don't think too ways about it, I guess. These sheep and certain ones just stick out to me, but I talk to somebody ahead of the show, and yeah, numbers are down, we don't have as many kids. And that's not uncommon across this part of the country. But what is uncommon, for me at least, when you go to county fairs, is that you get to see this many good ones in a ring. So you kids that brought out you today to be awfully proud, because I think there's a lot of really nice sheep here that are making the sheep breed better, and you guys are building on projects for future years that are like to be successful too. So be proud that you don't have a huge number, you don't need to coming down here. You guys have done a great job with that. And I think that shows a lot for Sioux County and the kids and families, and obviously breeders that are associated with that. Again, I think if you look at these, they all offer different pieces and different things, and they're all definitely different things. More of a breeding style, more of a market style, but the one that sticks out again is this black-faced unit. I just think a powerhouse that obviously offers a lot of unique features that are really hard to put into one. In terms of being that robust and having that kind of rib shape and the mass. She'll be our champion today. And I'm going to follow with the young lady, Smoky Color U behind her again. One that I just love, the silhouette and the overall design. Congratulations to those young ladies here.
Attention, chief exhibitors, we need a blackface flag brought to the building. Yearling, use blackface. When we are finished choosing the overall champion breeding ewe, we will need the advanced leadership project. Divide this. Breeding ewe, exhibited by Carnegie Springs Reserve Kinley Cameraman. Entering the ring next will be our yearling ewe blackface flag.
On the wrong side. Yes. Okay, we figured it out. We got it. If you hold your own, I'm not gonna be able to. Now we
The young man in the green is going to lead out this fair here. This one that's a little flexier, a little more mass, a little more substance to her. We get her on the side. Yeah, just really like her profile in terms of the balance of her lines for the upper and underside of her skeleton. You in second, I think we got a little time and condition on this one. She can be very competitive with that cluster because she's got some femininity advantages through her front end, a little bit longer in her build, a little stouter in her feet and legs. She just doesn't have that mass on her today to be as competitive with the base design that's there. So congratulate those two gentlemen here on the master class.
Brandon Schuler brought in both yearly viewers and received first and second place. We will now be bringing in our champion breeding ewes, and we will be choosing the overall champion breeding ewes. Next, after that, the judge will be talking with our advanced leader family project leaders, and we will have a champion and leader lamb project done.
But we do your overall here. I think we got a nice set of 4 ewes out here. We talked to 20 for everybody to know what I think of them. But we're going to use the 2 ewe lambs for your grand and reserve again. I think just useful, market-oriented, fresh sheep that really fit the bill. Let's put our hands together and congratulate not only these 2 young ladies, but the ones that came out for the show.
Testing, testing, testing. We're going to see how far this goes. Testing, 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 testing. I can still hear myself. Hey, it works over here.
Attention sheep exhibitors, first call, bucket bottle lamb class. First call, bucket bottle lamb class. Attention beef exhibitors, there is no lineup in the weigh-in station. If you want to, you can sure get your beef weighed in.
Well, let's give these four a nice round of applause for their Penna 3 program project sheep here. It's kind of like showmanship. It's not easy to do because you guys all did a nice job and your projects as a whole, or you walk up and they're consistent, right? 10 to 10, each one of them kind of resembles each other. Sounds like each of you had a good learning experience this summer. Livestock's not always easy. You know, you do it every day, but hopefully you guys enjoy it. And when you go to the barns and you have fun, I mean, it's an exciting piece. So when I look at them, you know, there's a couple pens that just stuck out to me that I think they look consistent from animal to animal to animal. I think all of these have performed well. They're the right market weight for their age. They're coming along nicely. Young lady here right in front of me, this is going to be your champion pen. This thing just kind of struck me as I walk up. They're consistent, they're productive, they're just growthy, healthy looking sheep, ones that they're on the pace where you want to get to. And then the young lady right next to her is going to be your reserve. These Dorset sheep here again resemble that. You know, I don't quite think they're as uniform in their type and kind, or maybe pack as much pounds on by was guessing today, but that's not to take away from these other two. I think they've been great projects. Let's put our hands together for these four young youth out here that did a great job throughout the summer.
exhibiting our champion feeder lamb project was Angel Hoisland and our reserve Jenna Golden. We will now be judging our bucket bottle lambs.
Attention exhibitors, first call for speckled face market. First call for speckled face market.
So I think the biggest thing with this project is that we want to know about what you learned with it, okay? So we're just going to talk about your project. I'm going to ask you a couple simple questions, all right? So why don't you tell everybody what your name is and where you're from?
My name is Cheyenne Whitcourt. I'm from Newkirk, Iowa.
All right, so tell me about your lamb and your project. Does he have a name? And then tell me about your journey with him, okay?
My lamb's name is Freddie, and we started bottle feeding him basically on the first night he was born. And he's super cute, dirty, and he lived in our garage for a while. And he grew to he followed you around. And then we let him out with the other sheep, and they didn't really like him for the first couple days. And then they started to let their babies play with him, and yeah.
So you're saying Freddie was kind of like a dog? He got to live in the house and became kind of like a pet?
Yes.
So what was your biggest learning raising your bottle lamb this summer?
I learned that there's a lot of responsibility to go with it, like cleaning his bottle and getting certain amounts in his bottle for how old he is.
So would you do it again, and what would you do? Tell other kids that are thinking about wanting to do it.
I would like to do it again because it's really fun to have a bond with your lamb, and it is a lot of work to do with bottle lamb, but I think other kids would enjoy it because they get to have a really good relationship with the lamb that they might not in pasture lamb.
All right, awesome. Let's put our hands together for this young lady and her project. All right, what's your name and where are you from?
My name is George Sandberg, and I'm from Newkirk, Iowa.
So tell me about your lamb and your project and journey, and what's his name or her name?
It's a girl, and her name is 45 because she was born April 5 and 4 months 5 is the day she was born. It was really fun, I thought, and it was a little hard, but I just worked through every day and got to figure out it.
So what was the biggest challenge you faced this summer raising her?
Probably maybe turn around. Maybe
So what would you tell other kids that are thinking about being part of this project?
probably keep us, stick with it. It's really hard.
All right, let's give that young lady a nice round of applause. Good job, ladies. I think you guys nailed it. You guys got to learn the more intimate experience of raising an animal, that they have personalities, and takes some work and effort, right? But it's all worth it at the end of the day. So anything that takes a little extra hard work is always worth it. So again, congratulations. Great job with your project.
First call for such mistake. First call for Black Spade Class 1.
Well, I think this lady's got a really nice speckle that's got a lot of good life and miles ahead of it yet. one that just from a design standpoint is built extremely well. Love the angles the sheep has. Leveling it down at the top, you get your hands on it, has a big square spread running down at the top, and yet just the right condition for the weight. Really nice project for the young lady. Let's give her a big round of applause on that excellent land.
Exhibiting the speckle-faced market individual was Kenley Kimberman. Entering the ring now is our white-faced market individual.
Attention, please exhibitors. Second call, class 1, black-faced market individuals. Second call, class 1, black-faced individuals. First call, class 2, black-faced market lamb. First call, class 2, black-faced market lamb.
Young man brings out a Dorset ewe that's been it's a little bit closer to market ready than that second one last class. One that definitely has a nice shape as we get on top of her running or rack to her docks there. One that's got a really nice silhouette as we get off to the side and some good angles and levelness to her design. One that maybe I'd like to trim down ever so slightly in her condition for her weight. But again, a nice project for the young man. So let's give him a big round of applause.
Exhibiting our white-faced market lamb was Brody Van Reichenmotor. Entering the ring now will be our first class of black-faced market lamb, weighing 108 to 120.
This little blue-colored sheep the young lady drives is a brute in terms of shape and power for her weight and skeletal size. I love the mass she works down her top. Extremely big across that loin and hip, carries a lot of shape down through that stifle. And we get off to the side again, gives us a nice look there. Maybe one that's not as stout or a foot boneward relative to her body shape. But man, you talk about packing power on a skeleton, that one sure does it well. Let's give her a nice round of applause.
In our class 1 market lamb, first place is Kenley Kimberman. Entering the ring now is our class 2 market lamb.
Attention, sheep exhibitors. First call for class 3 market lamb.
two really nice weathers here, but I think the young lady that leads out the class just starts to separate herself as we study this one and its build. When we put it into motion, one that just maintains its top line so much better and leveler on the move. And even in the brace, we can echo that. The one that's packed full of shape and power is firmer and trimmer to the touch as we work down that top side of her skeleton. Probably the biggest advantage, we get to that hip, more pulled apart, more robust as we go down through that stifle. Not to take away from this young lady's weather in a second, one that brings a lot of really neat things. He's fresh and youthful in his appearance. He's longer about his spine. Works a lot of shape down that skeleton, but maybe not the same conformation. One that almost jam-packs that loin too much because we get that loin in there as we get into motion and on the brace. I just like to soften her there and maybe just give her a little more spread down through that stifle to be more competitive with the class winner. But one that's awfully stout, really fresh and good looking. Just got to change a couple things. Let's give a nice round of applause to those two young ladies.
In our second class of Black Sage Market Lambs, first went to Carly Seabright and second Ella Ward. Entering the ring now will be our third and final class of Black Sage Market Lambs.
Here, the one walking at us. Again, I think here's your combination sheep of this class, the one that offers some stoutness, some freshness to its handle, and it profiles out the best of our top three in terms of keeping that top down, being smooth through that neck and shoulder, and just putting the best pieces together to lead out this drive. The young lady, you in second, to be honest, probably a little more powerful in her build, probably has a notch more shape working down her top side, and a little more robust about her center body. But as we put that one into motion, she tends to open up at her shoulder. She's not quite as neat about her shoulder or front end set. I just like to clean her up there to make her a little more competitive with that class winner. The young lady that rounds out third here, here's the trim, really fresh handling one, but the one that doesn't have near as much shape working over that skeleton. I just like to take the top side of that sheep and the sheep in general and pull it apart from front to rear to make her more competitive today. Let's go ahead and put our hands together for those three young ladies.
In our third class of Black Sage Market Lambs, first place was Shirley Wood, second, Paige Feathers, receiving a blue was Kenley Cameraman. will now be choosing the champion Blackface Market Lamb. Then we will be bringing in the overall champions, so we'll have the speckled and the white-faced champions brought in, and we will be choosing the overall champion Market Lamb.
Been a nice flat-face division here. I think it's pretty easy here to work through these. The young lady out of our center class is going to dominate this flat-face division pretty easily. One that just put together so nicely and balances up. Really easy place to start. From there, it's a little more challenging. I like the two ewes that are on either side of her. I'm going to choose to use the young lady's black one to be reserved. You know, we just wish maybe she's a little closer to market ready, but again, we talked about her class. She is so full of power and yet balances up nicely. She'll be a reserve today.
Our champion Blackface Market Lamb was exhibited by Carly Cleveland, the reserve Kinley Camberman. We are now going to be choosing our overall champion Market Lamb and our reserve overall champion Market Lamb.
Well, I want to thank Sarah for having me over. That wasn't a big show, but we talked about the use that you guys got a lot of quality running through the show, and so that always makes it a lot more enjoyable to work through as we go through the day and the classes here. Really nice set of weathers. Won't take too much time. The young lady, Black Face, will be your champion. Just a standout sheep. Congratulations to her. And from there, I think it's you can go a couple different places. But the lamb that strikes me the next hardest is the young lady special out of the first class. One that I think has a lot of future to it, but I like the basic build here of the feet up fronted and great looking. Has a great touch to it today. One that I think will just get better with a few more pounds in weight. So congratulations to that young lady.
Our overall market lamb was exhibited by Carly Higgins and our reserve, Kinley Cameraman. Let's give Adam a thank you applause for coming up to Sioux County to judge our show.